we are back on the neck cheese prep for 4th of July. And I finally got the rest of the pieces that I needed for the fan shroud and the cooling setup. So here it is. This is the shroud. It's actually a pretty nice piece, honestly. There's no pre-drilled holes or anything like that, so I do have to drill the holes for all the mounting brackets for them to sit in here. But this is actually a very nice, well-bent piece of aluminum here. So I gotta go test fit this and see how this fits. So this is actually gonna fit pretty well. It's not the perfect height for it, but I can move this up and down. But I think what I'm gonna end up doing is centering this thing up, but this will fit and end up hitting both sides on the radiator, so I can actually mount it down, right down on this tab on the side right there. But I have to check to see if I have enough room to actually mount them this way, because if I can mount them this way, this will actually make it quite a bit easier to actually mount them. I wouldn't have to make any spacers or anything. Basically mark all 4 of the holes for each fan, drill them through, and run a bolt, some washers, and a nylock nut. And then I'm gonna end up wiring these things for one switch, and this will be good to go. So measuring this all out, it looks like if I were to mount the fans on the outside of this shroud blowing in, it comes out to about 3 inches, just under 3 inches. And measuring off the truck from 3 inches where this is gonna mount, not to the face of the radiator, and 3 inches is probably a little bit more than what this actually is. This should work perfectly fine if I wanted to do it this way. This is gonna end up being a bit easier. I'm basically just gonna have to line the center of this hole up all the way around. And I've never messed with a shroud, so this could be the way it's meant to be. So if anybody knows, I'm gonna do a little bit of research, but if you've messed with shrouds before and this is the right way, cool. If not, let me know what is the right way, because by the time this video comes out, I'm probably gonna pick away and it's gonna be how it is, and hopefully it works. All right, so some quick research, the old interwebs and Google. Yeah, this is the way it's supposed to mount. The fans are supposed to mount on the outside of the shroud. Like I said, I've never messed with a shroud like this before, so hey, it's new to me. But I'm gonna go ahead and start marking my holes and the center lines, get the holes drilled so I can get these things mounted in place. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get the holes made to actually mount the shroud to the truck. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be setting this thing up for a temperature trigger. I'll have to look into this a little bit more and see if I want to do this, because right now I have it just set up on a switch. So basically once the truck kind of warms up, I just flip the fans on, they stay on, and that's just what it is. So I'm trying to debate if I actually want it on a temperature controlled, and if I do, I'm not sure if I want to use this, I mean, yes, they're cheap fans, but I don't know if I want to skimp out on the actual selector solenoid and stuff like that. A relay and a fuse and some wires, I mean, this is all just basic generic, so this stuff would be fine. This is not a weatherproof relay like the stuff that I have in there already, but that's not a huge deal. I could just hook it up to the relay that I have existing in there. But I'm not sure on how well this stuff would work compared to a better setup. So most likely for now, I'm just gonna have this all set up on a switch, because that's how I've ran it for the last 3 years, and I really haven't had any issues. Got the holes drilled for the fans, and I'm gonna have to go get some bolts because I don't have the right ones. It's the only one that I found. This is a M6, and it's just about perfect, but it's got a little slop to it. So I'm gonna see if there is a different bolt that I can use that'll tighten that up, because there's not much room to be able to fit a washer on there, and being that this is a plastic fan, which most electric fans are, I would like to have a little bit of a bigger head on it. But this fits perfect. drops right on there. Put it in place. And that's exactly where they'll sit right there. I think that looks pretty good. Obviously, I'll be taking this this film off once I'm done with everything, drilling all the holes. But I think this will turn out real nice. All right, now that I got all the hardware that I need, go ahead and mount these on here, get the shroud up on the truck and see where everything sits, and then mark all my holes out to actually mount the shroud. So I think this thing turned out pretty good. Basically marked all my holes. Fans are mounted in there. They sit pretty flush. These are some low profile 12-inch fans. So this shroud is actually, if I remember correctly, meant for a Ford radiator, like an F-150. And the dimensions were so close. This one's just not as tall as I need it, but I think this will work perfect. I'll center it up on the radiator. So now I need to take this, temporarily put it up on the radiator so I can mark the holes on these fins to mount it. And then I'm gonna use some bolts that I have laying around with some nylock nuts as well. Got all the wires kind of tucked up, running the same way now. I am kind of happy that these fans have these little tabs. So I got the wires lengthened and ran up and around the fans because my plug is going to be on this side. I have to get an adapter or splice both of these into one single Deutsch. So I got to figure out if I want to get what's called a DY2 and put a separate plug on both of these and then be able to unplug them separately, or if I want to wire them together. But now that the fan and shroud is all put together, all I gotta do is put a plug on this end and then mount it in the truck, mounted up on the radiator. But all in all, I think this thing is turning out pretty sweet. Comparative to my last fan setup, I think this thing is looking pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that in another video, but we have a lot of stuff coming up to get ready for Natchez. So there's gonna be plenty of videos here within the next couple weeks leading up to the 4th of July trip. So I hope you guys kind of like this video. I'm liking this shroud setup. If anybody's out there looking to do a shroud setup, this is what I did. I'll try to link all the stuff down below and some of the websites or the stores on eBay that I bought these from. Like I said, these fans are very just generic. They're low profile fans, and this shroud is from a company on eBay that makes shrouds specifically for different vehicles, and they can custom make it to your fit. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, stay off-road.